Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's be real. Solo queue in this game is absolutely exhausting. You might be skilled, but the system just throws you in with someone who looks like they installed the game 30 seconds ago, and yet somehow they're already at Grandmaster queuing with you. That's super frustrating, right? And now matchmaking that actually respects skill and experience just seems like a far-fetched dream here. So eventually, you stop torturing yourself with solo queue and look for other ways to play. Maybe duoing with a friend, your partner, or even running trio or full 5-man lobbies. But in today's video, we're going to specifically focus on duo queue, because that's where the real fun begins. Let's say you finally convinced that friend, who is dodging your invites because of your, let's call it unique performance history, to duo with you. Or maybe you finally built up the courage to ask out your crush, she said yes, and now you've dragged her into the game as your duo partner. Either way, you're now staring at the hero select screen, completely lost. Which heroes should you pick? What combos actually work? How do you and your duo synergize so you're not just two randoms running around together? That's the exact problem I'll be solving today. I'm going to break down the 5 best hero synergies in Honor of Kings. Combinations that can turn you and your partner into your enemy's worst nightmare. Not only will I show you the best pairs, but I'll also give you some practical tips on how to actually play them in real matches, so you can maximize synergy, climb faster, and honestly just have way more fun together. And by the way, these aren't just for duo queue. You can even use these synergies in solo queue too. If your teammates are decent and you tell them about these combos, sometimes they'll pick the right hero to synergize with you, and together you can carry and win the game. So with that said, let's get into the top 5 hero synergies in Honor of Kings. Alright, so the very first hero synergy or combo we're going to discuss is Ming plus Lady Sun. Now, if you don't know, Ming can actually be one of the best supports for any ADC or marksman, especially those whose damage heavily relies on basic attacks. Why? Because he brings a complete support package. He provides heals, boosts your attack speed so you can fire off way more basic attacks, and even slows down enemies who try to chase you or your marksman down. On top of that, Ming is deceptively tanky. You can't really one-shot him unless you're already miles ahead in gold. So about this synergy, Ming and Lady Sun together create a late-game hyper-carry composition. Their lane phase is already really strong, comparable to Arley and her synergy, which we'll be covering later in this video. But once you hit the late game, it gets scary. If Lady Sun farms safely without dying or getting bullied much in lane, and hits that 10-minute mark with Ming constantly buffing and protecting her, she can literally start one-shotting or melting down tanks. So if you're an ADC main and your teammate picks Ming, instantly lock in Lady Sun. Or, if you're a roamer and your teammate locks Lady Sun, then you pick Ming without any hesitation. The only real downside with Ming is that he's not an AoE support. He doesn't really roam around the map or support multiple lanes like some other roamers can. Instead, he sticks to his marksmen like glue, buffing and protecting only them. But the trade-off is absolutely worth it, because if your marksman happens to be Lady Sun and she knows what she's doing, this duo becomes one of the most devastating synergies in Honor of Kings. Alright, the next hero synergy we're going to discuss is the one that actually helped AG win a championship, and it was even seen being used recently in KWC 2025 too, and that's none other than Diadia plus Fuzi. This is honestly one of the easiest and most effective hero synergies to pull off, and let me explain exactly how. So, as you know, Fuzi is a fighter, so he's naturally tankier than most squishies, and with tanky items he becomes even harder to kill. On top of that, Fuzi absolutely loves split pushing, because thanks to his passive, he can shred down turrets way faster than almost anyone else in the game. Now here's where the synergy really comes in. When Fuzi is split pushing, the enemy team can't just send one hero to stop him. He's too tanky for that. They'll usually need at least 2, sometimes even 3 players to deal with him, and that's when Diadia steps in. She's constantly keeping an eye on Fuzi, and the moment she notices he's about to engage with 2 or 3 enemies, she uses her ultimate to teleport the entire team straight to Fuzi's location. Suddenly, what looked like a 2v1 or 3v1 against Fuzi flips into a full-blown 5v2 or 5v3 in your favor. The enemies get completely outnumbered, the fight instantly becomes unfavorable for them, and they just crumble. And here's the crazy part. Since Fuzi is so tanky, your team can even tower dive without much risk if the enemies try to retreat. During those team fights, Fuzi can easily engage by using Flash plus Ultimate, locking down the enemy's main damage dealer and deleting them from the fight. That alone can end the game right there. Now a little tip. Fuzi works best with Flash spell in this synergy. Flash lets him engage from unexpected angles, and since he's tanky, he won't be one-shotted. He can soak up tons of enemy damage. Meanwhile, Diaochan can use her skill to send Fuzi back to base to recover health, and then instantly bring him back into the fight again. The enemies literally don't even get a chance to breathe. I highly encourage all of you to try it in ranked matches. It'll make climbing ranks way easier if played properly. The third synergy we're going to discuss in this video is Diadia plus Arley, and honestly, I personally like both of these heroes a lot. Both Diadia and Arley are simply early game bullies, and their laning phase is almost unbeatable. Diadia will constantly heal and stun the enemy ADC, while Arley uses her insane mobility to poke, harass, and pressure the enemy carry as well. If you're playing against this duo comp, you're probably going to have the worst day of your life in lane. It's that oppressive. Diadia is such a strong roamer that she's almost always banned in high elo matches, and when you pair her with Arley, it becomes even scarier. Diadia and Arley together can roam not just their own lane, but move around the map to at least 2 lanes, constantly applying pressure and keeping enemies on the back foot. And when it comes to teamfights, their synergy really shines. Diadia's control, healing, and peel combine perfectly with Arley's mobility and burst. The two just complement each other's playstyles so well that they can dominate both the early game and the late teamfights. The fourth synergy we're going to discuss is Mozzy plus Shuyu, and honestly, this combo is everybody's worst nightmare. In lane, they both have insanely long range, which means literally nobody can touch them. Mozzy's stun combined with Shuyu's snipe makes it almost impossible to play against them. And once Shuyu has enough items, if you get hit by Mozzy's stun, that usually just means one thing: death. Even if you somehow dodge the stun and try to jump on Shuyu, he can simply ult and escape, staying completely safe. You also can't even camp or dive them, because Shoyue's skills give him vision wherever they're dropped. This synergy punishes any over-aggression, and makes lane control incredibly difficult for the enemy team. And finally, the last synergy we're going to discuss is Dolia plus Lubu. But before diving into that, let's talk a bit about Dolia herself. She currently has the lowest win rate among roamers in the game. The reason is that she's relatively weak on the global server. While most heroes tend to be stronger globally compared to the Chinese server, Dolia is actually weaker in the global version. The main reason is that she heavily relies on her teammates. Outside of her ultimate refresh, she doesn't bring strong healing or great crowd control compared to other roamers. However, even with just ultimate refresh, Dolia can be extremely effective if you know which ultimates to refresh. That's where the Dolia plus Lubu synergy comes into play. This is one of the easiest and most fun synergy comps. Dolia doesn't even need to stick to Lubu during the earlier mid-game. As long as Lubu doesn't get destroyed early, the teamfights become much easier later on. Even if Lubu falls behind early, once he gets items like Siegebreaker, he becomes unstoppable with 2 ultimates. Dolia isn't limited to pairing with Lubu though. She works well with many heroes to maximize ultimate refresh benefits. In the Clash lane, she pairs effectively with Elaine and Sansei. In the jungle with Kaiser, Dun, and Menki. In the mid lane with Shangguan, Nuwa, Gao, and Princess Frost. Princess Frost plus Dolia was actually a combination I used often to climb ranks when I started playing this game. And in Marksman, she can pair with Luong, Mengya, and Chano, with Luong being commonly seen in pro plays. Honestly, almost any champion can work with Dolia, since any hero can benefit from a roamer's ultimate refresh, but the heroes mentioned are the strongest and most straightforward synergies. That's it for this video, lads. If you want, I can break down all these synergies in depth and give you some advanced level tips separately. There are more synergies in this game, but for now, I decided to focus on just these 5. If you want to know more synergies or want me to give advanced tips regarding the synergies I discussed in this video, please both like and hype this video, and let me know in the comments section that you really want it. If you have any other requests, feel free to drop them in the comments as well. Also, subscribe to my channel to become a part of my W subscribers family. I'll see you in the next video. Love y'all.